How you doing? It's Ivan Isakov from Clashtv. I'm on Giving Them the Business. Enjoy it.
Well, we are back. Welcome to Giving Them the Business with Gotti Lorenzo and my partner, Don Dinero.
Que voila.
Que voila, que voila. And we are proud to have our guest today. Again, he's unbelievably impactfully in my life in such a short time. And I really appreciate it. I've learned so much new business acclimates, temperament, especially temperament, because I couldn't understand how he could stay so calm when some of these guys are so crazy with the deals and the way they talk like they didn't know what deal they was in when they absolutely did. But I want to introduce Ivan Isakov. Man, give him a round of applause. Yeah.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, no,
Thanks,
definitely. You know, another fact about Ivan is we're on Clashtv, and Ivan is the CEO and the founder of Clashtv. And we use that platform. And I wanted to dive right in to that first.
Please.
Because after I'm going to go backwards from the front, then I'll come backwards into yourself. So Clashtv, what made you think of Clashtv? What made you come up with Clashtv? What was the inefficiency or of what's not out here? You know, we have YouTube and Twitch and all these other things. Why Clash is needed? What's the need for Clashtv?
You know, I needed to find my own spot under the sun. Yeah. That's the depth. That's the real answer. The business answer is that I came to Clashtv from the investment business. I was involved with early streaming investments like Napster. Right. At Napster, which is now called Rhapsody, I was always trying to figure out how to make it fun because you look at Spotify, Napster, all these online platforms, and it's like a database. It's like a list. You're really like dealing with a file management system.
Right.
And it kept bothering me. I kept on wanting to figure out if we can do video on top of audio, if we could do storytelling, social, if we can connect it to offline, the concerts, the community. And that's how this idea was born of bringing together all these different media and creating a unique interactive experience, which is what Clashtv is.
Absolutely. One of the things that, since I've been involved with Clashtv, is seeing that interaction and that experience that the listener or the watcher, let's say, experiences when they're watching an event, the way they engage. And I know that timeline of how long they stay on our events at Clashtv is exponentially higher. What does those numbers look like?
Clashtv, like you said, is all about interactivity. So we look at the number of things a user does during a session. So that's up to 20 interactions per user per session. And what that leads to is this viewing time, engagement, is how long you stick around. So we've seen up to 20 minutes. Wow. So to give you perspective, on YouTube, the average is 45 seconds. On Facebook, it's 6 seconds. On Instagram, you know how it is. It's a split second. So that's what it's about.
It's all thumb action.
Yeah, there's no engagement.
Right past.
There's no engagement. So that's what it's about. If you give people an authentic experience and a way to make money on it, they'll stick around. They will live that way. And that's the depth of it. I want to live that way myself.
Absolutely. And then today with all these entrepreneurs, all these millennials and Zs and alphas, right. They all are entrepreneurial in their own endeavors.
Great point.
And it's very important because Clash allows you to be an entrepreneur from both sides of the fence. Let's talk about that too, because to me that is a big difference from any of these other platforms. And what I'm saying is, as a creator, we're putting up content and you could generate money. But as the watcher, the person watching that content, you could generate revenue as well. That's the plans for Clashtv. And that to me is an incredible, powerful way to engage.
It's about sharing because, and I've learned, so much from you in terms of how the music industry evolved, how, the old model was all about the label, basically raping and pillaging.
Exactly.
Now with adventures music.
I love the fact that you said rape and pillage. Thank you.
Yeah. No, it's the truth. And then now with adventures music and people that are following in your footsteps, it's about ownership for the artist.
Right.
But, I think more broadly, I think that everybody should have fun at this party. So the content creator, if you go to an ad-supported platform like Facebook or YouTube, they basically aggregate traffic across the platform, sell it to advertisers, and then they give you a little cut of it.
A small
But
piece.
the people who make the money is obviously the management and then the shareholders.
Yes.
Now, the vision for Clashtv is that the creator should be able to charge money directly and actually not even deal with advertising, because we have a massive drop in click-throughs for these banner ads. Like, how many have you watched? 0. How many have I watched? 0, because I don't care.
Right.
What I want is to watch what I came to watch. So I believe in the pay-per-view model. People are responding to it very well. It's got to be obviously done smart. So you start with, donation, which is like pay-per-view as much as you want. Maybe for, a high school basketball program, you need a subscription, which is pay-per-view for the season or for for the year.
Yeah.
And in the middle sits the pay-per-view per event. So I'll give you an example. On YouTube, let's say you make as part of your business deal $10 for 1,000 impressions, from people who showed up for your stream. You're not going to get 10 on YouTube, but let's say for round numbers you get 10. Now, to make $100, you need 10 lots of 10 lots of 1,000 impressions. That's 10,000 people. It takes a lot of work to get 10,000 people to watch your content.
Yes.
Now, on Clashtv, let's say you're having, off the top of my head, let's say you're streaming a swim meet. Like, my kids are swimmers. You're streaming a swim meet. On Facebook and YouTube, there's no way to make money on that. Forget about it. It's not going to happen.
Chance.
On Clashtv, because of the pay-per-view of the user pay model, the families, the friends, there's going to be 100 people who'll pay 99 cents for that stream. Right. And that's $100. So compare 10,000 and 100 people needing to pay. And the last and not least is the user. Kids are growing up, the Z's, the alphas, they're growing up playing games. What happens in a game? You hit up your parents for $10 to buy some skins, but you also play to earn.
That's right.
So in Clashtv, there's a bonus system. So you are active and you're earning, you're participating with our future fintech that we're rolling out that's going to be even more robust. So everybody gets a cut. Once again, live free. That's Clashtv.
One of our mottos at Adventure Music is you eat what you kill, and that's basically the same philosophy. Everyone, if you put in the work at Clash, you're gonna make the money, and you're gonna.
I gotta say, I gotta break the flow for just a second because this is a very very special moment for me. I obviously, like a lot of people, a huge fan of the music that you put out, and now that we're friends and business partners, and now that I've met Dinero, who's also an entrepreneur, a creator, and a real force in nature.
Yes.
This is a big moment for me because, when I was dead broke, I couldn't picture this. You know what I mean? It's like I was just a guy, and here I am. I'm being interviewed by Chris Gotti and by Dinero, by Don Dinero. That's, I live for that stuff. So just, allow me, indulge me. I'm grateful, Chris and Don. This is very, very cool.
And we're gonna make a little money on Clashtv when this comes out. And
we are gonna make money on Clashtv because and Don, you can talk to it a lot better than I could. But money is a life force, and Clashtv is, like I said, it's about living free. It's about having that life force run through what you do and being able to live off the life force. So
the key word is, and we use it in Adventures, is it's monetizing.
It's monetizing.
Being able to monetize your content.
Everything you do, you want to monetize.
The digital world that we're in, and with the ability to monetize. When I noticed when you mentioned you're basically at Clashtv, you're cutting out having to hustle the advertising dollar and saying, hey, let the audience interact with the content and they'll pay each other.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a dope concept. But it's basically about monetizing. You know, someone can come up with an idea, and I'm pretty sure it's going to happen where someone becomes a millionaire on Clashtv.
Of course.
Right? Like everyone.
It's inevitable.
It's inevitable, right? So I think that you say you being here, you know, I say that in this book I'm about to drop. It's about we all need each other.
We all need each other.
When Chris was telling you, hey, look at the staff, look, everyone here, we're all here on a journey.
That's right.
You know, sometimes our journeys bring us together, right?
Yeah.
But we're all here on a journey and we're all going somewhere or trying to get somewhere. So I think that the ability of Clashtv and us being here and doing this podcast is kind of what we're trying to bring to not just humanity, just to people to say, hey, just take action with your life. You're in the creative content. You know, there's no reason why you shouldn't be making some type of money. You can still have a 9 to 5. You can still create content. You can, and even though everything isn't about money, you do need money in order to be able to move in this society.
It's not about the money. It's about the money.
It's about the money.
That's what they told me. He said it's not about the money. It's about the money. But with that, you know, with what you was just saying there, I look at it again as a changing of the guards. Times change, evolve, evolution, and that's what's happening with these younger kids.
Adapt or die.
Adapt or die. Simple as that. And they're wanting to create. And then how do they earn from it? And we're giving them ways with adventure music, with Clashtv. Do exactly what you love, and you could learn how to make money from it, right? No one's forcing you to go and create all of your entities that you're talking to people or your podcast. That's because you want to do it. This is something that me and you chose. We talked about this for years before we did it. We was doing El Punto de Spot, which is a radio show. So this is the evolution of the radio show, which is giving them the business now. But at the end of the day, this is something we want to do. I remember when we first spoke, I said, I'll be doing a podcast. It's just not yet.
I remember.
I told him from the very beginning, I will be doing one, and I'll be using Clash to use it, to put it out, to stream it on. But this is what all these young kids are doing more so than ever, than any other generation before them. This is their mindset. This is what they want to do.
I think it's
the
instant,
Kim Kardashian. It's the Kardashian effect.
Well, it's the instant also, the content creating aspect of it, whether it's Clashtv, YouTube, Instagram. I think the younger generation doesn't want to be censored and doesn't want to wait.
Key point.
You know, they don't want to be censored. They don't want to wait.
Key point.
And I want to show you what the fuck I'm eating at breakfast this morning. I want to show you what I'm doing in the gym. Hey, I'm not even going to take you to the club with me.
I just left.
And I don't want nobody in between.
Nobody
I don't want
telling
some committee in between telling me what's okay, what's not okay, promoting some, not promoting
That's why
the
I
others.
kind of felt a little bit weird how lately Instagram will block your stuff or Facebook. Like that type of censoring is why Elon Musk wants to buy Twitter. Is why individuals like you are creating Clashtv. It's the aspect of what they don't understand is Facebook. You've had a great run. Blockbuster had an incredible run for a while, and fucking Netflix came and did a backflip on them, right? And swatted them out the window.
Remember that Blockbuster?
Right, so what happens is that, listen, do you remember Blockbuster and Chill?
You got to
we had to go,
because we had to return the
you had to go
video.
fucking to the spot, and you would take
the charges.
No,
the
but
charges.
listen, you would always take the girl with you to help pick the movie, because that was part of the.
That was part of it.
Remember going to the candy aisle, the popcorn, the little they was getting you bling bling bling.
Yeah.
But you know, inflation fucks shit up. Back then it was you could have a movie, you're good for like $11. You're in and out.
Not
Hit them
anymore.
and split them. Not anymore. Shit, $11 won't buy your burger.
Very true. No, this is censorship and letting people be free and talk is a huge thing. And I think advertising is one of the big problems, the business model. Because if you are selling soap, if you're selling insurance, you don't want people messing around while you're selling. Like, I respect that you're trying to sell, and you don't want any trouble. Now, that means that everybody has to behave in a particular way, which works if you're talking about, what's the best BMW to drift in. But if you want to express yourself, it's either you sell soap or you express yourself. And that's why pay-per-view, micropay is the way to go, in my view.
Well, that's where we're at. That's exactly where we're at. I want to ask another question, because you aren't an American, right? You're Russian, which is great. I went over there with you. Incredible time. We had an incredible time. We was doing a TV show licensing.
Remember that time in the studio?
With Gazgolder. Shout out Gazgolder. Those are our guys over there, you know. And we had a great time with their artists. And again, they're very inspirational, Gazgolder, for me personally, for Adventure Music. They're an independent label. They dictate everything going on. There is no major label over in Russia bigger than Gazgolder. They're the biggest record label, and it's all independent artists. So just understand, if you do it right, all you independent artists, that's what you could accomplish here too. Universal, Warner Brothers is not needed when you understand the business. You could do it yourself. And that's what they did. I remember they was talking about an MTV show over there.
Yep.
That MTV was asking them, can they put it on because they need their music. And they denied MTV, and MTV had to cancel everything because they didn't do it.
Wow.
That's the power you end up having when you own the rights to your music and everything. If they have to use it, they have to clear it with you. If you don't clear it, they have nothing.
Ownership.
And that's what we're preaching here with Clashtv, to go tie right back in. You own your content. You know, we did a deal with Dyckman, you know, Ken Stevens, and at Dyckman, shout out Dyckman and Kenny.
Yeah.
God bless.
And they
When they starting soon, right?
Yeah,
Next month.
summertime, you know, June through August, we got them. And we'll be streaming it so you can watch it. If you can't make it to the game, you can watch it on Clashtv.
Dope.
But Ken, I remember bringing this to him last year and how excited he was to do it and opening up that new, let's say, line or vertical underneath Clashtv, because you weren't doing basketball. So, and just watching your expression coming into that park and seeing that energy, this culture that what we present every day, basically in Dyckman. How was that going through it, bringing Dyckman in with Clash?
Well, first of all, and you've heard me say this, but I'll say it again. It was the coolest thing I've ever experienced in New York City.
Wow.
And I've been in New York since '91, so it's a good stretch of time. And I have a lot of respect and a lot of love for Kenny and his team, all the people who are involved, like Chris, who's a partner in Dyckman. It was a great experience, and here's an example of Clash content. It's grassroots content, impossible to monetize on existing platforms, but by far the coolest kind of, it's the summer NBA. It's the coolest kind of.
That's my NBA.
That's Chris's NBA. So it was a great experience, and of course, the phone started ringing. A lot of people paid attention.
Yeah.
So now, I'm not going to spoil any surprises, but we're going to go big this summer.
Oh, yeah.
Show quite a few games in quite a few cities, God willing,
across the country. We're out there. Again, I love seeing the growth and expansion of any business, especially ones that I'm participating in. So,
and you remember,
that's what I mean.
Just to indulge our viewers, and this is a story about Chris's style. And Don, you and Chris go way back, so you know exactly how this works. But for those who don't know the style, so literally, I'm walking home after work. The phone rings. Chris has this idea. He's coming over. A little later, we sit down at a neighborhood restaurant. We're talking. We start talking about Dyckman Streetball. He's showing me some podcasts. He calls Kenny. We get in the car. We go to Dyckman. We spend the next, 4 or 5 hours with Kenny. We hang out on the courts. We end up going for dinner. We end up going somewhere else. I can't even reconstruct the evening fully. Next thing I know, and tens of thousands of dollars later, we're deeply involved, and it's a gift. It's not just business, because it's the living culture. Like you said, America, where we're all from, the roots and whatnot. And I don't want to generalize, because there's a lot of good stuff. A lot of different cultures, but Streetball, this is genuine, fucking amazing American culture.
Yes.
And, you guys met at Dyckman. Chris is, long, with his partners.
Yeah, that's how me and Dinero met.
Dyckman.
Yeah. It's living culture. And to me, it's like doing business is one thing. You're trying to monetize, you're trying to make the money, but at the same time, you go deep. And at the end of it, it's that living force. It's the culture. And Chris, once again, is the champion of the culture.
Thank you. Oh, well, one thing I know we had conversations about was the culture. And I was expressing to Ivan that if we don't protect the culture, I can't be part of it. Right. So he understood exactly what I meant. If I wanted to be part of Clashtv, it has to be able to protect the culture. It cannot be cannibalizing the culture. Right. That I wouldn't be able to be part of it. That's just my.
And I feel exactly the same way.
So
that's who I am.
Every deal we do is very much for the absolute building of this culture. The Dyckman
like
culture,
Adventures Music is
like
for the
Adventures.
independent artist and not about the record label of Adventures Music. In the same way, we are about the culture.
How did you come from Russia and get to America?
You're gonna love this.
Yeah,
you're gonna love this.
Don't tell me through Cuba and you took the rafting.
Oh, I wish. I dream of going to Cuba one of these days. Once again, it depends on how deep you want to go, but I'll give you a starting point, which is fun. So I was trying to make a few bucks, so I could take my girlfriend out for pizza and buy some black jeans.
It's always a woman in the backstory.
And cool denim and expensive denim is often involved. So a friend of mine who was in like the Moscow equivalent of MIT, he was connected with transcendental meditation, TM, Maharishi, that movement. As an interpreter, he was fluent in English, and he was translating TM lectures, and he was paying a few bucks. So he said, you want to get involved? Sure enough, I got involved, and I ended up also, having decades of meditation after that. That's a separate story. Was making a few bucks, and a couple of the visiting instructors approached me and they said, "You seem like a smart kid. You should come to our school in Iowa with Maharishi International University." So I looked at it and I liked it, but it was maybe like a little, too specialized. Right. But it planted a seed, and I started researching it. I went to the library. It was before you could look up everything online. There was several college catalogs. Lovingly placed by some CIA operative at the Moscow embassy. I took those catalogs. I sent my information in, and here I am being interviewed on giving them the business.
I always take interest in the migration from someone coming from somewhere else over here. See, we were here, I was here. Right. So I don't know any other way. So I love to hear the stories of what actually influence someone to come here, leaving their homelands. And you lived in multiple places, not just Russia, so you was moving around quite a bit in your adolescent years. Is that right?
Yeah, it's true. I grew up in Rangoon, Burma, and spent time in Bangkok, Thailand. And then, of course, my family always had a home in Moscow. This is where I went to high school. And I'm, connected to that city like a plant is connected to soil. You can't have one without the other. I lived in Paris as a student for a year. I lived in London for 6 years. And, I've been based on and off in New York since 91. And I got to say, in a way, there's only two places, well, maybe three places I could ever live, or at least, that's the thinking, which is right here with you guys, because, I'm like fish in water. This is me right here, the Mecca. My hometown of Moscow, for sure. And I love the mountains, above it all.
He wants to be up in the mountains. I'm gonna have to get GPS to figure out where he's gonna be at.
Well, we'll be there together.
Yeah, he wants to be out of here.
Yeah, out of here, definitely.
That's great. That's great.
But New York, I tell you, New York is, we've seen New York through many changes, and even the flavors have been different. But I tend to also think of it as a physical place. It's not just like what goes on here, but it's also this island, these rivers, this bay, the ocean. And I love the physical place in New York.
Sure.
I think it's very, very special.
The energy, there's an energy to New York City that's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's to do with the people, and like you said.
It's funny, you feel it as soon as you leave New
you
York
feel
and go
it.
to other places.
Yeah,
you feel the
feel it.
difference in energy.
We're in New York right now.
Yeah.
And thank God for that.
Question,
Please.
with your coming up in that way, what led you into the field you're in now with all of the, not just streaming, but television network programming? I know you was into financial. Which was first, the financial or the television?
I went to work on Wall Street first.
Okay.
You know, like any kid, I talk to my kids about what they want to be. My son told me the other day he wants to work for a bank because a lot of nice people come and you make a lot of money. I had to explain to him it's not quite how it works, but you know, like as a kid, that's how you think. And
Yeah.
I wanted to work for a bank and meet a lot of nice people and make a lot of money. At that time, you know, it was the emerging markets boom. You know,
What's your son's name?
Tima.
That's not where the money's at.
Tima, by the way, take note. These guys know.
Tima.
It's not about the money.
No, yeah, it's not about the money. It's about the money.
I hope you're listening. So, you know, I went into investment banking, and I was a part of the first internet boom. You know, the Web 1.0.
Oh, okay. All the startup companies.
All the startup companies, and you know, from there, it's like investment banking is effectively consulting. You're working for big companies. So then, you know, I went over to work for an investment fund where you start owning pieces of companies, so you get a little closer to action. And eventually that felt like consulting. So now I'm living the lifestyle, which, you know, means working around the clock and hustling. It ain't pretty, but that's the life story.
That's it. You know, and this is definitely a 24/7 type of operation. I don't stop working with Adventures, Clash, Givin the business, you know, always looking at new perspectives, new ways to approach business or opportunities that might exist and how they coexist to kind of boost all the things that I'm involved in. Always looking for synergies out here. So I understand that lifestyle to the highest.
Well,
level.
let me ask my hosts this
Sure.
question. Is something I was thinking about on the way here, which is you know, how do you protect your, I don't want to call it your soul, because the soul, I believe,
your soul.
I believe it's
right
being
word.
protected.
It's the right word.
But maybe it's the right word. How do you protect your soul? Like, you get into this mode when you're like a supercomputer. You're constantly thinking. You're constantly hustling, and eventually you're like moving at 1,000 miles per hour. How do you not become a supercomputer? How do you chill out? How do you
find that balance?
Like, share some wisdom. I know you as a very spiritual person. I know you as a very spiritual person. What do you guys think?
I think Dinero's
Again, for everyone, it's different. I think that
cannabis.
some of us, yeah, well, it all depends. Yeah, I think some of us are. We're all, like I said, we're all on a journey, right? How fast do you want to get there? So everyone's trying to figure out. Most people's dreams, if I tell you let's drive from New York City to California, it's going to take us about 40 hours, right? If I tell you let's drive from here to Philly, it's about 2 hours. People want to go from New York to California in 2 hours. Let that sink in. And that's the shortcut. Everyone's looking for the shortcut. Everyone's looking for, how can I get it faster? How can I get it? So from
the
a
citation private plane is the fastest.
True.
Plane, so
but there's a cost associated to that, right? So
get there
everything costs. But what I'm saying is that I think that when you say, how do I shut it off? I think meditation has to be a part of it, where, you know, real true growth and real true understanding is when you're not thinking about anything. Can you meditate? Can you most people go to the gym and spend an hour in the gym, but they won't meditate for 10 minutes, right? Yeah. You need to slow that and then figure out, and you have to slow down your days where you're just focused on today. Sometimes you might be here, but you're not here. You have a dinner date in a minute, right?
Yeah.
So you're like checking, and if you're never
present,
the key is to be present. Remember to remember. I told Chris, I always say, there's a thing that says remember. You did it a few minutes ago. You were like, look where I'm at. It's very few people are that awake to say, oh shit, look where I'm at. We all came to an understanding yesterday that we were going to be here today.
Yeah.
Right? But now we're here.
I came to that understanding a couple of hours ago.
Right.
3 o'clock.
But what I'm saying is that once you're here, either you're conscious or you're here. Sometimes I'm here and I'm listening to you guys and I'm actually here and I'm like, oh shit. Because I remember the idea and I try to be here. Some of us are here and they're already thinking about tomorrow or they're somewhere else already and they're not present. And I think that's, if you're able to be present, as you know.
I was just talking to Dr. Sweet about this last night on my interview on his show. And I believe it's different for everybody.
Yes.
So the way you kind of decompress to keep your essential balance for yourself, it'll be different from me, different from Dinero. You know, I don't smoke. I mentioned cannabis. I don't smoke. He smokes, so maybe that helps him get back to where he wants to be. I don't have that. So, but I definitely meditate.
It helps me with
my plane rides. I told you I sit and reflect, and I'm very appreciative. I told the doctor last night I pray in the morning, I pray at night, I pray during the day. It's no wrong time for me. Something might happen, and it's not a prayer of like help me. It's more of thankfulness, no matter what, even if it's something bad going on, because I know it could always get worse. No matter how bad it is, it could get worse.
And the journey continues.
It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop.
So it's really about being thankful for no matter what the situation is and just keep pushing forward. But really that meditation time is vital when dealing with such hectic lives. I think we just spoke about myself from 3 different business entities that consume all of my time. Just one of them would consume all my time. So imagine we just talked about Clashtv, Adventure Music, you understand? And then there's so many more other ones, you know, even
kids,
with
the family.
The family, like when you add that up, how do you do it is really up to you and finding your time for yourself, putting importance on what things, levels of importance, and always have that balance. One of the things I did that I thought for me personally, and I'm probably sure you might have to do it as well, because as busy as you are with your kids, right? From a very young age, I let them know, Daddy may not be home for your birthday sometimes, or I may miss Christmas, or, you know, things like that, special moments to a child. And it's only because I put family first, and when I say that, you might say, that's not putting family first. Financially, I always was worried about making sure I could provide for my family and so on, not just today. And if a deal came about that I had to miss a birthday, I made sure they understood that birthday is very important to me, just like it is to you, but we could celebrate tomorrow. We could celebrate any day, and it could be Christmas. It doesn't matter. And when they understood that, it made me less worrisome, because I'm pretty sure you have that with your kids. You're worrying about the neglect or the time you're not with them, but it really takes you to communicate with them, and they do understand. They do get it when you talk to them. And when they get older, they're going to appreciate Daddy for what he's doing, because it's really for them at the end of the day. Everything I do is for my family.
And it's really family. You know, we are completely connected.
Absolutely.
To our children, to our parents, to our siblings. It's it's one living thing.
Yeah, it's one organism.
It's good that when different parts of it are talking to each other. But I really appreciate you sharing this guidance, and I think for giving them the business fans who are looking to learn from you guys and from your guests about doing business, it's a very important thing, because it's not just a business plan. It's also the personal. It's the personal domain. It's your development as an individual. It always has to come together. You cannot separate the two. And I really appreciate you.
It's still a people business. When me and Chris discuss this, like when investors invest, whether they want to invest, they're not really investing in that venture. They're investing in Chris Gotti.
They're investing
in the people.
Leading.
And I think the young people that are watching, we get so caught up in sliding in someone's DM because it's safe. If they say no, you could block them. If they right, compared to going up and networking, actually talking to someone. And I think those who want to become entrepreneurs have to understand that communication and expressing your thoughts and talking to people and rubbing elbows and understanding what you're selling, because we're always selling something. You might be selling, you have to probably sell your wife or someone on the idea of, hey, I'm going to go shoot this podcast. No, listen. Hey,
we have conversation.
No, what I mean is that we're selling in the sense, say, hey, honey, I got to go do this podcast before I go to dinner, right? Like, we're constantly selling. Hey, Chris, I remember when I brought Chris, when we were trying to do podcasts, I said, Chris, let's do it. Like 2.5 years ago, we had the studio.
Oh,
he was like, he was swarmed with shit. I remember seeing his thing. He said, yo, I got an idea. And we still had the fucking Giving Them the Business. I said, yo, we should do a podcast called Giving Them the Business. He's like, who the fuck got this? You do it. Put it together. I was like, oh, shit.
I told him, you do it.
Right,
you set
right,
it up. I'll be right there. But you set it up and I'll support it.
Right, so
because I was doing so many things.
Understanding. So I think that being able to communicate, having people in your corner. You mentioned about kids. You know, life works like this. There's 5 holes and there's 8 pegs. You're going to have to leave something out. You want to be a businessman and have a ton of money, then you don't. People who work for a living, it's still a business.
Universal law.
What you exchange, when you have a job, I don't care if it's Walmart, Mercedes-Benz, when you have a job, you exchange, you negotiate a salary or you negotiate an hourly rate, and you say, hey, from Monday to Friday, the contract works like this. From Monday to Friday, I will be here from 9 to 5. I will take 1 hour lunch. And then the company says, okay, for that 9 to 5, I will compensate you X amount, $20 an hour. But for those $20 an hour, you need to do this. Wash the cars, whatever the fuck it is on the computer, right? And then you exchange your time. And then you get up in the morning, you brush your teeth, and boom, you show up to a location, you do that. As a businessman, you have to fucking create the idea, find the funding, the money. It's a constant
fight.
It's a constant, not stress, I would say. It's a constant. You're not in control of your life ever. And that's what makes it fun.
While you're doing it.
No, because, hey, you do 10 deals, 3 go good, 2 fall back. The partner that you thought was great is a piece of shit. Like it's
so true.
Right? So it's that journey, because there's an incredible reward when you own, but you're risking it all at the same time.
Absolutely.
So life is that, what choices and decisions. I say that, and I say that in my book. You get up every day and you have 2 things you got to do. Take choices. Even the clothes that you wear. You got to make a choice. What fucking shoes? Especially even with what Jordans am I going to wear? What this, what that, right? So everyone's kind of figuring that out. And I think that really, you made a choice. So if you make a choice, then you have to understand that maybe your kids don't get it. Maybe you're, because I'm a little bit of the opposite. I was all gung-ho I have 4 kids. So Desiree and Jose, I was kind of there for them, but I wasn't really there for them because I was ripping and running through everything. I was touring. I was trying to, and my excuse was,
working.
Right? So fast forward, things happen. I'm not as popular anymore. It's okay, that happens. You don't stay popping forever. That means I don't have to be on the road touring to earn my living. I own all so I started, Chris knows this. Chris, come August, the end of August, from the end of August, September to November, on weekends.
Football time, baby.
I don't miss a high school game when they're going to college. I don't miss a game.
Now.
When them motherfuckers look up in the stand, I don't miss. And mind you, I might have a show in Miami town, whatever the fuck. Chris tours. Dex will hit me up and be like, yo, you coming?
I gotta be back.
And I'd be like, I remember we went to snow shit for the playoffs in Pittsburgh.
Oh my God.
I went around some shit to get through there.
I never seen so many trucks flipped over. It was a blizzard that we're driving through. That Sprinter, God bless us that day. So many trucks flipped over, boxes all over the highway.
But I got us home because I had to get to the football game.
He's driving through all of it, navigating past all of the boxes, everything, and we got through that storm. Yeah, and that was on 80 East, right? We was 80
East headed. We were coming in from Pittsburgh. From Pittsburgh. But what I'm saying is that I made a choice.
Right.
And I've left, Chris knows, I've left a lot of money on the table.
Yes.
But I chose my kids over a lot of money.
Yes.
And the older ones at RPI, playing football, that's almost a $400,000 scholarship. Mm-hmm. The young one got to Wagner, but the relationship I've built with them, I couldn't. And mind you, I left a lucrative real estate company in Miami that my boy's worth like $100 million now. So what I'm saying is that I look back and
shout out John.
Yeah, but I came here. That's how I met Chris. Yeah. In that transition, and I was able to, continue to go and grow. So I made a choice, and now the kids are in college. Now I'm gung ho. Now I can
Now he
fuck
can
your
move.
birthday. You're 18. I took the 18-year-old to Puerto Rico for his birthday
Yeah,
now.
see?
And now Z's birthday's coming up, but now it's not like you guys are grown men. It's not the same thing. I could sell you $300-$500 and you're fucking happy as hell. But right, compared to we're not cutting cakes anymore as much, right? It's not. So now that's a different level. So I think that.
And we invite them.
Yeah, and I tell Chris, like I see with Chris, our biggest problems, and me myself is, which I'm assuming you're married, right? And you're.
I'm on my own, but I got 2 kids.
Okay, so you're like us then.
We got
so
baby
the part
mamas.
of being but this is this is the choice you have to
You got
make if you want
how
to be
many
a
baby
businessman.
mamas you got?
If you want to
Dinero?
be a businessman, I got 2.
I got 2.
Yeah. Hey, if
gotta
you want
catch
to be a businessman, if you want to be an entrepreneur, and the woman you have next to you is not a businesswoman or entrepreneur, you're gonna have a hard situation. I was in a relationship, great girl, incredible woman, was not an entrepreneur. I was, and every time I would either take a risk or put money up, I'd get the, you think it's gonna work? 2.5 years in, I was like, you're not gonna fucking work, right? Because we're always taking risks.
That's right.
Clashtv was the, think about the idea you came up with Clashtv. When he came up with Adventures, people were like, what the fuck? We were before all these distro kids.
Before all of them.
True.
Right? So if you don't have someone next, so when I notice the one thing in common is a lot of entrepreneurs are, I would say, single.
Yeah.
Because it's like I like coming
It's like a
home.
lonely road. You know?
Listen,
It
it is lonely, but guess what? I love coming. I've come accustomed, you know, if I don't have little Chucky at home or Desiree, to come home alone and decompress on my own and go home. Instead of having someone that I have to give her my attention or sit down and watch fucking soap operas or whatever it is, right? Whatever they want to know, because you have to. That's the key. A woman needs time and attention. And those are 2 things I only have for my kids and my dog. You get it?
I get it.
So I won't even. I have a list of them. They slide in my
about me.
DM.
I wasn't his dog.
No, my
that
little
scenario.
dog Chucky. Chucky's home. I gotta check if he ate. So what I'm saying is that if you make a choice, some of us are trying to become entrepreneurs and drag the whole family with you. And the wife is, you know, not that she doesn't want you to succeed.
It's a lonely road.
It's a change. You're not the same person. Most people that are together 20 or 30 years become siblings, not husband and wife anymore. That's just your fucking sister now. You're not even banging.
Companion.
Can't even get a hand job, right? It's not even. You're not even gonna get that, right? So it's like, what are we doing here? Hey, man, it's like we're so deep in the fucking desert we can't turn back now. Yeah, yeah. She just took your soul.
She took your soul.
Right. So what I'm saying is that those are decisions and choices, and that's why I put it on. Our kids will take care of us later on.
God
You know what I'm
willing.
saying?
Let's hope.
Listen,
No.
I had that conversation with my kids.
Yeah, I told them.
Especially watching what was going on with my dad when I see, you know, how he had to get taken care of. Again, mom couldn't do it. She's just as old. She couldn't do it.
Right.
So he needed his kids to take care of him. And his pride, he didn't want it. But after I was like, are you kidding me? Like, shut up. Like,
Listen, I'm going to say something about his dad that I said. When I watched at the end, I was there maybe a few days before. He was sitting, I'll never forget, he was sitting on the couch. He couldn't move as much, but he was smiling. Every time he sees me, I guess from the time you told him about the grab, he always looked at me different. And I remember him sitting there. All the family was there, and I'll never forget this. I asked Orula, I was like, let me live this man's life, that I could be 80-something years old, surrounded by my family. I could check out, and listen, that man knew he got it. Irv got it. Yeah. He could check out. When you can check out in peace, I did my time here. Right. I accomplished my mission. Right. Fuck, you lived an incredible life. Right. That's really the key. Around with everything all the seeds you planted, going far, great man, the love and the respect that man had from his grandkids, from the great-grandkids. Are you crazy? He got to see his great-grandkids.
That's it.
That man lived an incredible life.
Goal.
He couldn't live anymore. What else could he do? He'd go golf. Remember you guys took him on one of the birthdays he got, when he get drunk, he wasn't supposed to drink. You know, so it was just great stories about the golfing and the stuff. And then it's all
golf.
I tell you before, life is about memories. When you pass away, if no one hangs a picture of you, you didn't do anything on this planet to influence. No one's gonna hang a picture of you on the wall after you pass away. You better come back and do something about it.
Let's get back to work. Let's get back to work and go hard. One thing for sure, in life and in business, it's all about energy. It's all about what you put out. Like you said, it's that relationship, that law. So, I really appreciate the energy that you brought into my life, Chris.
Thank you.
And it's been great knowing you, Don.
Likewise.
The passion and the spirituality, the truth, that's energy. I really appreciate it. And I can tell you that I'm gonna put it into work. What we experienced today is already a part of Clashtv. I'm gonna take this energy and keep building. We have a crazy summer ahead of us.
Yes,
great summer coming forward.
Let's go.
I'm ready. Ivan, I know you have to leave. I want to thank you for coming on. I know we could probably do another one because there's so many more questions I want to get to. But I want to just thank everyone that listened. Make sure you subscribe, like, share, comment, and comment, and come on and make sure this is what we're doing. Giving them the business. This is what it's about. Clashtv is where you could go watch it.
If you're a content creator or content, don't forget, check out Clashtv.
And just make sure again, like, subscribe, share. That is what it's all about for us. We need that so we can keep presenting these incredible podcasts for you guys. But I want to say, signing off, Chris Gotti Lorenzo, my partner.
Don Dinero, Mr. Money for the Gringos.
Yes, and we want to thank Ivan Isakov and Clashtv for coming on today, man, and giving us that knowledge. Thank you.
All love.